Hey everyone, welcome to today's AMA. My name is Aram Hami. I'm the marketing manager. We've got the rest of the, most of the leadership team here. We'll go ahead and introduce ourselves, and then we'll jump right into the AMA. So again, my name is Aram. I'm the marketing manager here at Glitch. And yeah, I'm just excited to be here.
Yeah, I'll go next. Yeah, hi everyone. I think everyone knows me over here. Rohan, been here since the first AMA. Happy to be in this one as well.
Hey guys, this is Diego. I've been here in the other AMA too. I'm CTO at Glitch, and if you happen to be in the Bitcoin conference in April in Miami, reach out to me. I will be there. Mai?
Yeah, I will go next. Hi everyone, my name is Mai, and I'm a product manager at Glitch, and I'm happy to be here.
Great. Unfortunately, Sean and Tuana were not able to be with us today, but that's okay. We got the core technical team here, and that's more than enough to go ahead and get started, right? So we'll jump right into our AMA session today. We've got a few community questions that we'll go ahead and address. Most of the questions are pretty technical around the testnet and the phase 2 launch. So we'll go ahead and talk about that. And then going into additional community questions as well that we will address live here on YouTube. So if you have any questions throughout the AMA, please drop them into the chat below. We are reading all the comments. I'll be choosing all of them, and we'll be talking about as many questions as we can. Okay, so with that said, we'll go ahead and jump right into our first question. Great. So the first question here is around phase 3. So how is phase 3 going? What is the team currently focused on for the remainder of the month? And are there any plans for April that you can share with us that the community can look forward to? So over to Diego.
Okay, so phase 2 is going or progressing as planned. So we are ironing out or fixing some bugs. There are no critical bugs. That's a good thing. So but there are some enhancements and small issues that we need to fix, and that's what we are focusing on one hand. On the other hand, we are for April. So the plans for April is that we are focusing in the automated testing. So we are planning to start with we started very slowly, and now we're going to go at full speed with the automated testing framework using Kurtosis as our partner. So that will be the main change here. So once we have that in place, that we will be able to unlock our testers to other areas of the products.
Great.
That's it.
Great. And I know that the community is very excited about our engagement with Kurtosis. So over time, we'll be continuing to update you guys about what's going on around that. Okay. And so great news. If no one else has anything else to chime in, then we'll go ahead with the second question here. So the second question is, when will the team start accepting community validator members on the testnet? Because there's been a few intentions waiting and sitting there. And so what can you say to the community?
Yes, so we are planning, yes, we have some internal governance, some internal process issue on our side to make sure that at the beginning we are starting with this process. So we are ironing out the details of the process, but we think currently by mid-April, that will be the ETA for us to start accepting. We're not going to accept a lot of them at the beginning. We will go in baby steps just to make sure that we keep the quality of the network up.
Great. And yeah, and there's definitely been a lot of intentions there as well. So if you guys have not seen the phase 2 article that was recently posted as well, if you want to set up a node, if you want to test the browser extension wallet that was just released, we urge you to go ahead and check out the recent Medium article and play around with the Glitch wallet that was recently launched, which is in alpha. It is only for testnet for right now, and then for further iterations, there will be more and more features being added over time. Okay, great. So we'll go into our third question here. Will there be a developers channel to discuss testnet validators and building on Glitch? Will there be a Discord soon? So this is a very frequently asked question from the community. And the straight answer to this is yes, there will be a Discord, and it actually is almost done being set up. We just got a few bugs or a few things that we have to iron out around the Discord, and then we'll be able to announce it and start having the community pile into the group. And there will be different developer groups dedicated to building on Glitch. So that's good news for everyone there. Okay. So we'll go ahead and move on to the fourth question here now. Can there be some more clarity around creating different session keys for each different operating system? Because as an example, we had released a Windows binary file, we had released one for the Mac, and we had also released one for Linux. And a few of the community members, as they were setting up their node, had a few troubles generating their different session keys because the instructions were in Linux and not necessarily in Windows. So is there some sort of clarity that we can provide to the community around this, or is there anything that we can do to make the process of setting up a testnet a little bit easier?
Yeah. So for Windows, Windows, it's a very difficult platform for us as developers to support and to use. So that was from our side. It would be ideal not to support Windows, but I know there are a lot of Windows users out there. So we are trying to balance our effort on the development side to make sure we fix that, and we provide very clear instructions. The problem with Windows is, like I mentioned before, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult platform for this kind of. You need to understand that Windows is a desktop operating system. I'm sorry, I said Linux. No, Windows is a desktop operating system, while Linux it's ideal for nodes and for development stuff. But that's not an excuse. We have to support that, and I'm sorry that it's not working as expected yet, but it will. And we have some workaround that we will be able to share with you guys. You can set up a virtual box. Of course, it will require more hardware, but that's just a temporary workaround for the community to set up a free product, a virtual box, in which you can run Linux on top of Windows. That's not ideal, I know, because it consumes or uses a lot of resources, but that's the short-term, not solution, short-term workaround. That's pretty much it.
Great. Thanks, Diego. Appreciate the clarity there. And I'm sure that we'll dive a lot more into this in the upcoming newsletter as well. Okay. So thanks. Going into our next question about the Explorer. So this one's going to be for Mai. So Mai is our product manager. How will the Explorer for Mainnet be different from the Explorer for testnet, and what features will the team be adding into this new Explorer?
Yeah, so after this phase, we will launch the Explorer for Mainnet, right? But that will be released on a separate domain, which means that you will be able to access both the Explorer for the testnet and then the Explorer for Mainnet, right? So those will be two separate things. But then in terms of features, the features for the Explorer for both testnet and Mainnet will be similar, and this phase will be adding features. You'll see more details on the account details, nominator details, validator details, and then you'll see more sub-tabs in those tabs that we already built last phase. Which means that, and then another difference is that, like, the data for the Explorer for the mainnet will be different from the testnet, right? Because we will fetch data for the mainnet, and then the testnet will be like what we are released.
Cool. Looking forward to the additional features of the Explorer, and we'll be able to share some teasers as well on our social media channels over time, so you guys can see it just like we have been doing with our previous products as well. Okay, so hopefully that addresses everyone's question there around the mainnet, and appreciate Mai for the explanation there.
Yeah.
Cool. Moving on to our next question here. Can you please explain how Glitch will have more than 21 validators? On the original white paper, it had mentioned Glitch will operate through only 21 based on Tendermint, but I know that now we had switched over to Substrate. So is there a fundamental change?
Well, with relation to the quantity of validators, there is no fundamental change, and we don't have a final conclusion here. We will be testing different approaches. That's the purpose of the phase in which we are right now. Before we enter phase 4, which is the final stage, we will be testing different approaches. One of the ideas is to go with at least 21, but we do not discard the idea of going higher. These kind of things are very difficult because it's not like a theoretical paper that you can see on paper works. You need to see it in real life. So that's why I cannot give a definitive answer if we're going to have 21 or more than 21. But what I can for sure guarantee is that it will be at least 21. I hope that gives some clarity, but there is no too much clarity here. Here we are, it's a test. It's like a test and adapt. That's how we are taking this specific area.
Cool. Thanks, Diego. Yeah, we had a lot of questions around this because of that change, and we had been slightly dropping the word NPOS over DPOS, so everyone was kind of unsure about that change. So thanks for your explanation around that. And we're going to go into our final question before we start jumping into some more community questions here live on the chat. So again, if you have any live questions you'd like to ask us, please drop them in the comment section now, and we'll be going through them after this question. Okay, so without further ado, this one's going to be for Rohan here. Will there be a developer toolkit or easier node deployment for mainnet, like Quick Node or Anchor, as an example? When will validators begin receiving the rewards on their mainnet?
Yeah. So you hit the spot right. We are actually in talks with one of them, and for quite a while now. But I guess we will only be able to formalize, and continue discussions with them for the one-click deployment from next month onwards. Meanwhile, about the rewards, the validators will start receiving the rewards from once the phase 4 goes live, and then when the users nominate them, since the rewards are dependent on the transaction fees and revenue generation.
Cool. Thanks, Rohan, for the explanation there. And exciting to hear that we're actually in talks with one of them. So keep your eyes peeled.
It is one of them.
Yeah. So
and we've been speaking for quite a while, actually. And yeah.
Yeah, we were talking about it since around Q3 of 2021. So there's some crumbs. Okay. Well, we appreciate everyone's time as we talk about a few questions here. We do wanted to go into some community questions live here on the chat. So I'm going to go through the chat here to see what we have in store. So the first one here is, let's see. Okay. What does the tech team need from us to get the most out of the period of testing for the testnet? Is there a way that we can nominate validators on the testnet? Because it's not on the guide.
Not yet. What I need from the community is just to start spinning out nodes, and that's pretty much it. And then to submit bugs via a specific process that we will be letting you know what will be the best way for all of us to engage. It will be through GitHub, which is the typical way to engage with that. So everyone, it will be open, transparent, and visible for all. And of course, we are also discussing a kind of bounty program. I mean, once we have the source code out there, if you fix a bug, I mean, you will get some kind of reward. Besides the recognition, you will have some kind of reward. But that's something that we are internally discussing, so I cannot say out loud.
Yeah, cool. Thanks. So this next question here is around marketing. So when will you start to announce everything around the project and make more hype, basically? So marketing is always an ongoing process. We're always working behind the scenes, doing a lot of marketing things. But that being said, our core marketing push is, of course, around tech deliverables. You know, the more and more products that we push out and have, obviously, the more and more marketing that we can have, right? It just makes sense. So right now, we're kind of just focusing on building and doing different organic marketing strategies. And in the very near future, we're going to be doing a much larger push, but we're planning towards that. And of course, that being said, marketing is ongoing. So we do have a lot of exciting strategies that's to come. So, okay. So our next question here is around Kurtosis. Can you please give us an update around Kurtosis contract? We're waiting a very long time for an update. So this we had previously addressed earlier. Diego had mentioned a few things. Maybe you can run through it one more time really quick, Diego, for like a minute.
Yes, we have, of course, we have the Kurtosis contract signed, and that's in place. We are internally, from the Glitch team, we are planning all the different test cases, all the different scenarios that we want to automate, because it's not like you have the Kurtosis framework and you just start running. You need to plan it out in detail, so then we can make very efficient use of our developer. Our tester/developer time to do that. So we are right now in the internal planning stage, and the next phase will be actually start the first test case automation. And we will be letting you know, guys, when that's up. The first test case running on Kurtosis that will be announced for sure.
Yeah. And I actually spoke to Galen, which is one of the guys from Kurtosis, and we had talked about making a more formal announcement on both ends once the first test has been kind of complete. So that's kind of what we've been talking about, which is something to look forward to as a more official announcement. Okay. So this next question here is probably going to be for Mai or for Diego. It's around the GEX. So when will the GEX on testnet be available to try? And what features do you think we'll be able to have for the first release?
Diego, do you want me to take this question?
Yes, please go ahead, Mai.
Yeah. So the GEX will be developed in phase 4. That way for the testnet. So, you know, after this phase, we will start doing the development work for it. And, you know, in terms of features, obviously, it hasn't been developed yet. So, but then our plan is to, you know, like obviously for the MVP to have you be able to like swap, you know, like do liquidity pool and, you know, and some other features on there, which I think and marketing will help to, you know, to announce to everyone once we get closer to development and release.
Cool. Appreciate the clarity, Mai. Okay. What are your expectations on the next 2 phases for the mainnet since they are public mainnet? Do you feel satisfied with the quality of the first 2 releases, and why?
So we are pretty satisfied. I mean, we met the deadlines. And I'm sorry, what was the first part?
What's your expectations for the next 2 phases for the mainnet?
I don't know. It's pretty generic. So
yeah,
we expect to meet the deadlines. We expect to have no critical or high priority bugs like in the last two phases, and to make sure that the scope that we defined at the last year is there. So if we meet those three criteria, I will be satisfied. Yes.
Yeah, I think the question was also geared more towards also the developers building on glitch too. So this will be more, obviously around phase 3, phase 4, more so phase 4 to be honest, since smart contracts are on phase 4. But they should be on phase 3, so they can start doing it on testnet at least. But that being said, within the marketing side of things, we do plan on expanding a lot to external developers. So to expand on Diego's answer, developers will be building on glitch, and we'll be working towards having those developers build on glitch in the coming phases. So hopefully that provides some more clarity as well. Okay. Let's see, what else do we have here? Referring to Diego's response regarding selection of validator nodes for testnet, can we have a bit more detail around the node, how the nodes will be selected? What criteria will be used for the selection? Is there anything that we can expand for this question?
We don't have, that's what we are figuring out. So that's part of the process. What will be the best? So that is exactly the crux of the question, which
cool.
I don't know at the moment right now, but that's part of the
Sure.
process.
Sure. When do you plan on showing parts of the GitHub? Even if this is not possible due to the privacy of the code, is there a way to create a channel on the new Discord to get notifications at a minimum, et cetera, et cetera? So this is something that we could explore, but I think the question is more so, when can we start showing parts of it? That's more of a question for Diego.
Yes. So first we need, one of the things that we also be engaged in is in a security audit. I personally don't want to disclose any bit of code before we do a security audit. And the security audit is not the Saint Grail, so to speak. It's not the final say, because a product is secure only when the community, all the eyes from the community take a look at it and everyone tries to hack it, which is, we expect to do it by opening the GitHub. But I don't want to do that before we get that the security audit, which is planned to be done within the next 3 months. So that's my answer.
Yeah. The alternative right now in the short term was that roadmap breakdown that we had just released on our website. So if you go check it out, we do have a roadmap breakdown. It shows us exactly where we're at in the development. It's not real time, but it is updated once every couple weeks. And so if you want to check it out, go ahead to glitch.finance. Under the drop-down menu, you can go ahead and click on roadmap breakdown, and it'll take you to the phase 3 and phase 4 breakdowns that basically tell you exactly where we're at and what we're doing as well. So that's a good alternative until we're able to start releasing some code on GitHub. So let's see, what else do we have here? What is your relationship with Self-Frame Network? This question can be for Rohan, but it's one of our partners. Is there anything, Rohan, that you can expand on this?
So we have partnered with them. We partnered with them for multiple things. One is to wrap their native cell tokens in the whole GRC20 standard, and also bridge their nodes to pass states from the glitch blockchain to the Self-Frame itself. But we will only start activating those things once we start getting more closer to phase 3, and we will rediscuss the agreements of our partnerships and see how can we start working to integrate together and start working together.
Yeah, cool. Thanks, Rohan. So we're gonna go ahead and just address a few more questions before we wrap up for today. Okay, so this next question from the community is actually from Telegram now. Okay, and so this one is, can there be a step-by-step walkthrough video created about setting up a node and setting up a wallet? There is some confusion from the article in the community because there are some additional steps needed to take place. So this is something that we can do on the marketing side. We might need some help from the tech, but maybe we can talk about making some walkthrough videos for the community here in the near future, and we can share them on YouTube. What do you think?
Yeah,
that's a good idea.
Yeah,
cool. That sounds good to me.
Great. And then we'll hear this other question here. This other one is basically the same. Can the team be a little bit more proactive, sharing some more visual updates? Feels like a lot is happening behind the scenes, but we don't see enough. We can do that. And I've been speaking to the team about that. We're going to be sharing a lot more teasers as the development process is ongoing, but we have to be careful about what we share. So that goes through a separate approval process as well. So there's a process to sharing these teasers, but we will be sharing a lot more in the near future. Okay. Okay, well, here, what else? I don't think we have much else here. There's a few questions here that I don't really understand. So we can't really talk much about. One will be listed on an exchange again. Exchange listings are always ongoing. We're always talking to exchanges. We were talking to one recently, but they had some silly demands, so we kind of passed on that. But they're ongoing. Here's one from Telegram. I think we can wrap up after this one here. Where do you see Glitch in a few years' time? Maybe we can all answer this a little bit, and this can be the last question that we talk about here. So maybe we can start with Diego, since you're the CTO here. Where do you see Glitch in a few years?
Well, I see Glitch as a properly DAO. So it will be self-managed, not self-managed, but it will be autonomous and completely on-chain. People voting, the community voting for a pretty solid governance model, which is not, the industry has not yet figured out how to actually run a DAO properly. The definition of DAO by Nick Szabo. If you haven't read it, there is a seminal paper from Nick Szabo back from, 10, 15 years ago. It was science fiction by then. And now we are pretty clear. Now it's not science fiction. Now it's science. It's pure science, but it's science. So where do I see it? I see a complete autonomous organization with people voting and things going on-chain, decentralized, completely decentralized, and no need to have any kind of hierarchy as we know, as we are used to. So it's pretty, I don't even have a clear vision. It's like a blur image of what I think, but everything is it's very exciting. It's what really excites me in the morning when I start working here.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot to look forward to. What about you, Rohan? Where do you think Glitch will be in a few years' time?
Wow, Diego covered the most important and the most exciting part, and I completely agree with him. I would just like to add that, in my personal opinion, I do not see Glitch as a Ethereum killer or any other blockchain killer. Glitch is just going to be a blockchain that does what it is supposed to do the best, but coexist with other blockchains and other ecosystems that are focusing on their own strengths and truly try to decentralize this ecosystem and then make the whole participation for other people and normal individuals like you and me more easy as well. And a lot of the DAO is what that Diego, not technically literally in every sense that, but it's something that we are already seeing in our community, wherein we have such strong advocates right now that we're constantly speaking to, that are giving us such useful advice, that are supporting us, that are really asking us critical questions also, and helping us go in this proper direction. So I think we are already building very strong foundations to eventually become a DAO, as Diego says. So I'm pretty not bullish, but pretty positive and very positive about these two things. One is coexisting with other blockchains and really doing something for the industry instead of just being a killer, or instead of just promising 1 million transactions in a second while only delivering 1% of that and still failing at it. And then working with the community and working with all stakeholders to grow and
yeah, cool. Yeah, for me personally, well, first of all, I am both positive, but I'm also bullish. So I'm both. But what I was gonna say is that what I where I see Glitch in a few years' time is I definitely agree with both of you. But really, I really stand behind the message behind Glitch a lot. And there's a lot of layer 1 blockchains that preach and boast decentralization. But that's not necessarily the case. So us proving that we are putting security and decentralization first, and also passively rewarding all participants on the network for getting involved, is something that is really cool. And it's something that hasn't ever been done, in my opinion, for a layer 1 blockchain ever. So it'll be interesting to see the whole ecosystem kind of evolve and come about, starting this year, starting in September. That's phase 4, and it's coming really quick, and things will come really fast. In the coming months, you'll start seeing announcements after announcements being posted, and the whole ecosystem being forming, and that's kind of what we're going to be working towards as a team here. And I'm excited to be working towards that. It'll be pretty fun in the coming months here. So yeah, what about you, Mai? Where do you see Glitch in a few years?
Yeah, I think, I agree with most of what everyone has said, right? I think in a few years we're hoping to have like the Glitch ecosystem evolve, that can simulate sort of like a small economy, and as we see more activities on our ecosystem, right? And then with our value props, we're hoping to enable and empower those activities, whether that will be by developers or users, with our dApps and everything. And yeah, like Rohan said, coexist with other ecosystems and blockchain, just to make things like grow faster and easier.
Cool. Yeah, definitely, Mai. Cool. Does anyone else have anything else to chime in real quick here before we wrap up? No? Cool.
No, not on my side.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, that being said, thanks everyone for coming out. Appreciate your time. Appreciate you being here. Make sure you follow our page on Twitter at Glitch Protocol. You can join our Glitch Protocol Telegram channel as well at Glitch Protocol. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel here. We're growing our YouTube channel. We're going to be posting a lot more videos over time, a lot more teasers. Our AMAs are, of course, once a month, every month, around mid-month, with the exception of this month. And we hope to see you guys on the next AMA. So thanks again, everyone, again. And thanks for tuning in. And we'll see you at the next one. Cheers, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
Bye,
a lot
guys.
for your time, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Good one.
Ciao.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.